It was a rainy Thursday evening in Atlanta when Harold Mays, a retired white detective, stepped onto the city bus, coat-soaked, face-tired. At 67, his life had become a series of routines: morning coffee, crossword puzzles, and solitary walks. But tonight was different. As the bus doors closed behind him, his eyes met those of a young black man seated near the rear. Dreadlocks tucked under a hoodie, earbuds in, face unreadable. The man stared at Harold for a moment too long, and Harold felt something stir, not fear, not anger, recognition. He sat a few seats away, glancing through the fogged window, pretending to ignore the tension thickening between them. 10 minutes passed. Then a voice, low, deliberate. "You remember me?" Harold turned slowly. The man had pulled his hoodie down. "You don't, do you?" Harold studied the face, strong jaw, deep eyes, a scar over the left brow. Then it clicked. "You're Isaiah Bryant." 17 years earlier, Harold had been lead detective in the case that put Isaiah in prison. Back then, Isaiah had been just 19, charged with the armed robbery of a liquor store and the fatal shooting of its owner. He had claimed innocence from day one. No fingerprints. No weapon found. But the store's blurry CCTV and a shaky eyewitness were enough. Harold had seen hundreds of cases, but Isaiah stayed with him, not for the crime, but the doubt. A good cop knows when something doesn't add up. And Isaiah's case never added up. 17 years, Isaiah said quietly. "That's how long it took before they finally said our bad and let me out." Harold's mouth went dry. "DNA cleared you?" Isaiah nodded. Another man confessed. "Same height, same build. But darker." "You ignored that." "I followed procedure." "You followed bias." The bus rattled as it turned onto a quieter street. Only a few passengers remained. The driver glanced back once, sensing the tension. "You ruined my life," Isaiah said, voice barely above a whisper. "My mom died before I got out. Never even saw me free." Harold's hands trembled slightly. He wanted to defend himself, but guilt weighed too heavily. Isaiah pulled out a folded letter. "This was from your daughter. She wrote me 3 years ago. Said you felt bad about the case. Said you were trying to get it reopened." Harold nodded. "I did. She told me you left the force because of what happened." Harold nodded again. "I did." Isaiah let out a long breath. "Then why does it still feel like nothing changed?" Harold looked down. "Because it didn't. Not fast enough." The bus was now nearly empty. Isaiah stood. "I'm not here to fight," he said. "Or yell. Or make a scene." He reached into his pocket. Harold's breath hitched. But Isaiah only pulled out a worn photo of his mother and younger brother. "They believed in me. You didn't. And that broke me." Harold felt tears sting his eyes. "I was wrong." Silence. "I know," Isaiah said. "That's why I asked the driver to make a stop." The bus halted at an old church. Isaiah gestured toward the exit. "Come with me. There's a meeting inside. Community gathering. People talking about justice. Healing. The kind you never got to see as a cop." Harold hesitated, then rose. Inside the church basement were 15 or so people, black, white, young, old, seated in a circle. One woman was telling the story of her cousin, wrongly imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. Isaiah introduced Harold. There were raised eyebrows, cautious glances. But no one yelled. No one laughed. Harold sat down. And listened. For over 2 hours, stories were shared. Not just of pain, but resilience. And slowly, the ice around Harold's guilt began to melt. When it was his turn, he spoke. "I arrested a man 17 years ago based on evidence I didn't trust, because I thought my instincts were enough. They weren't. And Isaiah paid the price. I can't undo what I did, but I can listen now. I can learn. And maybe help others not make my mistake. Silence followed. Then a slow clap. A nod. And a quiet voice, "Thank you." Later, Harold and Isaiah walked down Ashby Street together. Rain had stopped. The city lights shimmered on wet pavement. Isaiah asked, "Why did you come?" Harold shrugged. "Maybe I was tired of carrying it." Isaiah nodded. "Me too." They reached a bench near a mural of Martin Luther King Jr. They sat. "I didn't forgive you right away," Isaiah said. "Took me years. I didn't deserve it." "Maybe not. But forgiveness isn't about deserving. It's about peace." Months later, Harold and Isaiah began speaking together at forums, universities, churches, schools. They talked about race, justice, bias, and truth. Harold never stopped calling himself guilty. Isaiah never stopped calling himself free. Their bond was not easy. It was born of pain. But it was real. In a world divided by race, suspicion, and fear, two men, one who failed, one who forgave, proved something vital. That even the hardest truths can open the door to healing. Justice isn't just about the system. It's about the people who live through it, who suffer from its failures, and who still choose to heal.